Okay, hello everyone. Today, what I'd like to do is show you how you can type in Chinese on your computer at home. Now, you might be thinking, I don't own a Chinese computer, so how am I going to type in Chinese? But you can, as long as you've got a reasonably modern Windows system, then you can type in Chinese. Today, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, if you have a Mac at home and you're using an Apple operating system, I can't show you how to do that because I don't have an Apple computer. You might need to go online. I know that there's plenty of stuff on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and do a search on how to install Chinese language on my Mac, I'm sure you'll find something. I'm going to show you how to do it on a PC though. So all you need to do is open up your Windows menu button, and we want to go to settings. So once I'm in settings, now this may look a little bit different depending on the version of Windows that you're running at home, but the basic principles will be more or less the same. So I'm in settings and I'm going to go down to time and language. Okay, and I'm going to click on that. So down the side here, you can see my various options. I'm going to jump straight to language. And over here, you can see what I can do is I can add a language. I've already got Spanish on my computer. Most of you will probably just have English as the only language, the default one. So quite simply click on the language. Now there's a lot of languages you can add, and if you've got a fairly up-to-date Windows system, there's heaps of them. Easiest way to find out is to just type in Chinese up here. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that you've got quite a few different versions of Chinese. Yeah, we've got simplified China, simplified Singapore, traditional. At Coffs Harbour High School, we are learning simplified Mandarin Chinese. Okay, that's the official language of China. So the one you want to pick is this one, Chinese Simplified China. So we simply click on that. I go down to next. Now, install the language pack and set as my Windows display language. Now, unless you want to see all of your stuff in Chinese, you need to uncheck that. You don't want Chinese to be your display language. If you set Chinese as your display language, you'll see everything in Windows in Chinese. And if you're using your mum and dad's computer, that might make them a little bit cranky. So make sure you're not setting it as your display language. Click down on install, and you can see now that Chinese appears here. And on my system, that's it. I'm done. On some older systems, you need to choose the input method. Now, there's an input method called Microsoft Pinyin, and that's the input method you need to choose. It's called Microsoft Pinyin. But if you've got a fairly new computer like mine, just click on Chinese and you're done. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Once you've done that, what you should notice in your taskbar down the bottom of your screen over here is you've got a thing that says Eng, which means that your input language is English. If I click on that, it then shows me what languages I can do. And I've got English, Spanish, now I've got Chinese with my Microsoft Pinyin. So to type in Chinese, I'll just click on that. There's another way to cycle through those languages. If you press the Windows key and spacebar, it brings it up. And I press spacebar again, I go through the Spanish. I press spacebar again, I go through the Chinese. That's one other way of doing it if you like. But the simplest way to cycle between your languages is just go down to here where they are, click on it, and you can choose which one. So I'm choosing Chinese. So straight away you can see I've got a Chinese character here. That's the character Pin from Pinyin. And this is Zhong. That character Zhong simply means Chinese mode. If I click on that, it changes to Ying, and that's now English mode. So I can very quickly switch between Chinese and English without actually going out of my set language. I'm going to leave it in Chinese for the moment, and let's see what happens. So the thing to remember when you're typing in Chinese, I'm just in a regular Google Doc here, by the way. The thing to remember when typing in Chinese is that you have to type in Chinese. This won't translate for you. You can't type something in English and have it come out as Chinese. If I want to type in, hello, my name is Mr. Dunn. All right. I'm doing that in English, and it's just that's weirdness. That says nothing. That says hello, meo nama is Mr. Dunn, which means nothing. Okay, so I can't translate. I have to type the Chinese. So to say hello in Chinese, is ni hao. So that's what you have to type. We have to type ni hao. Ni is N-I. Oh, sorry, actually, it's not working because I've switched over to English. So ni hao. So I've typed that in, and oh, there are my characters. So I can either click on the characters to input them, or push the number 1. So I click on them, and there we go. Put in a full stop, and you can see that the full stop's actually slightly different because that's what a full stop looks like in Chinese. So if I want to type something else, my name is Dang Lao Shi. So my name is I'm called, or Jiao. I'm called, or Jiao. And then my name is Dang Lao Shi. So I put Dang. There's my name, and Lao Shi, teacher. That's it. So I'm now typing in Chinese, but I have to use the pinyin. Okay, this is not translating for me. I'm actually typing in Chinese. If I want to put a word in English, I can either click down here to change it, or I can just push the Shift button. If I push Shift, if you watch the little character down here, it's changed. That's me just pushing Shift and changing it. Okay. So now that I'm in English, I can type. I can type in English like I would normally. Like that. Push my Shift key again. Changes back to Chinese, and I'm back to Chinese mode. So if you'd like to do that for any of your assignments, then that's fine. But remember, you must know what the pinyin is first. So it might be an idea, if you need to actually type some stuff out in pinyin first. So if I was writing something where I want to introduce myself by saying hello, I'm Mr. Dunn, I might go back to a sheet like this one. This is our classroom one, right, where I have all the pinyin here. Right, so all of the pinyin is in here. So say, for example, I want to make the sentence, you must not walk around. So we can see here, you must not is ni bu yao. And then walk around is zhou dong. So maybe what I can do, if I want to be a little bit sneaky, I can copy that. And then oops, that's something weird. And then I'll paste it over here. Just put my document back there. Ni bu yao. And then we'll go back and we'll grab the zhou dong. Copy that. And I'll move it over. So now I've got the pinyin there. So I know what I have to type. So now that I have to type in Chinese, I check that I'm in Chinese, and I am. So I've got to go ni bu yao. And I can see I've got some things there. And then zhou dong. Zhou dong. Same as up here. And I hit space. I'm just going to make that a little bit larger so it's easy to see. Now, so they're the characters I've got. How do I know that? How can I check that they're right? Well, the simplest way is to have a look at them and compare them to what's on the sheet. And these ones are correct. Another tip would be, to make sure you're typing the right thing, is to type these groups of words together. So I'll take another one as an example. Let's take zuoxia as an example. So zuoxia means sit down. Right? You can see it here. Here's the pinyin, zuoxia. These are the characters. This is what it means. Now, if I go back into my Chinese document and I type zuoxia, you can see there's actually a few different combinations here. The first one here, if I have that, remember what that looks like? We go back here. Okay, they're actually the same. That was kind of lucky. If I do that separately, if I type zuo, and then I choose the first character, and then I do xia, and I choose the first character, you can see the second one is the same, but this first one's not. That's just a reflection of the fact that there's lots of Chinese characters that are pronounced zuo. So one way of making sure that you're hopefully typing the right words is to type a couple of characters together. Yeah. So if you want to type things that are here, like Ting Lao Shi, for example, and listen to the teacher, you can type those three things together, and it'll give you that phrase. If you type them separately, it might not. So let's see what happens when we do this one. When we do Ting Lao Shi. So I'm going to copy over the characters that we want, so we can see if it matches up. So this is what, no, I've done it again. This is what we want it to look like. So if I type in, oops, Ting Lao Shi all together and hit space, yes, that's worked. That's the same. If I do it separately, Ting Lao Shi. Ha! I've been caught out. This is my computer recognizing that I'm recognizing what I'm typing. Here I've gotten lucky. Yeah, and it has come out the same way. So sometimes that'll work, other times it won't. But it's always, you can always check. If you simply check back in a document like this, make sure the characters that you're typing are the same as the ones that are in here. Okay, so just to recap, if you want to type in Chinese, firstly you have to install the language on your computer system. It's a matter of going to your Windows key, settings, time and language, add language, type in Chinese, oops, and then pick Chinese simplified. Okay. Once you've added the language, you come down here, click on it, and you can choose the language that you want. Make sure that this says Chinese mode. And then when it comes time to type the language in, you need to type the pinyin. So we need to type, so again, if you want to write ni hao, write hello, you can't type hello because that doesn't work. Oops, I misspelled that. You can't type hello because it either gives you English or some characters which aren't what we want. We have to type in ni hao, and that gives us the characters that we want. Okay, so I hope this helps for being able to work from home on your computers. As always, if you've got questions about the technology, about the work, please post them in our Google Classroom, and either myself or Ms. Scriven will answer those questions as quickly as we can. So that's it for this video, guys. Good luck with your Chinese work at home.